Hello my friends all over the world, wherever you are. William Poloniak here again today, and I'm going to be testing making juice on version number 6 of the Zero Blowback Cutter. And I'm going to use parsley, dandelion. In addition to my parsley and my dandelion greens, I have collard greens, romaine lettuce, 120 grams of turmeric, 1 medium-sized beet, ginger, 1 red bell pepper, 3 cucumbers, and the rest carrots. So let's make some juice. As usual, I'm going to start with 3 ice cubes to cool down the cutter up to 27 degrees centigrade. So we'll cool down the cutter and the feed tube. And I'm going to start with dandelion greens. Good job on dandelion greens. We'll see how it does on parsley next. It's a good idea not to feed too much parsley in at one time. Greens tend to be very, very fibrous. Well, it's doing a very good job on greens. A little more parsley. Ice cubes through. More parsley. Now we'll try some romaine lettuce. Good job on romaine lettuce, very good job. Let's put half a load of romaine in this time. Very, very good. The parsley was more difficult, and it usually is, even with the regular cutter. Now I'm going to start with some collard greens. I'll fold it in half, roll it into a cube, and feed the stem in first. Oh, smooth as silk. Remember, feed in the stem in first. Roll it in half. Roll it, feed the stem in first. Let's try a cucumber. Let's see what happens if we just drop a cucumber. We'll put the medium-sized beet through. Oh, very, very good performance. Let's try some turmeric. Ginger. Put a couple of carrots through. And then the bell pepper's a little too big, so I have to quarter it. So I've quartered my bell pepper, and we'll put that through next. turmeric. head of garlic in. I'm going to feed in 2 more carrots, and then I'm going to clean the juicing grid and use the carrot grid, which is 1/8 inch holes. The cutter is performing beautifully. So we'll clean the grid. We'll put the juicing grid aside and clean that later, and switch to the number 2 grid, which is 1/8 inch holes. And we'll continue with carrots. This time I'm going to do 1 carrot, but I'm going to push in the tiny end first. Normally you would push in the big end. The only reason for that is you want to make sure your produce fits. Alright, I'm down to the last of my carrots. I want to remind you, on your last produce, there's always a plug of carrot or whatever produce in here. So you want to put some pulp in the feed tube and force that last plug through. The next step, of course, is to mix all your greens with the carrots. Spin your bowl in both directions to get a really good mix. As long as you have carrots mixed with your pulp, you do not need to use bamboo liners to prevent your pulp from sticking to your cloth. Whenever you have carrots with your greens, they will generally not stick to your cloth. Greens only juice or fruit juice will stick to the cloth, and for greens only juice, you need to use bamboo liners for best results. I'm going to demonstrate my less work 6 cloth method again. 3 scoops of pulp into the cloth, fold it into thirds, flatten it down. As tight a package as you can make. Flatten it, set it aside. The first 2 cloths go into the tray. And very important, centered left to right, centered front to back, all the way back, back it off a little bit, turn the machine on and continue filling cloths. Now here's my less work 6 cloth method. This goes forward, this goes over, the spent cloths go on top, 2 more cloths full of pulp go in the press, centered left to right, centered front to back, all the way back, back it off a little bit. And there's 2 methods that I'm going to use. Now there's a puddle of juice in my pulp collection bowl, so I'm going to crush this up and put it in the puddle of juice to absorb that juice. Then we'll start with 3 more scoops of pulp. Flatten that down, pull it into as tight a package as possible. Flatten that down. And the second method is to not put the pulp in the bowl and don't throw it away. Put new pulp on top of the old pulp, but only 2 scoops because you don't want this patty to be too thick. So pull it into a tight package, advance it all the way when you're on your last cloth. Flatten it. This goes forward, this goes over, the spent cloths go on top, 2 more cloths back in. Centered left to right, centered front to back, all the way back, back it out. Now because I've got juice puddling in here, very, very carefully, I'm going to pour this, I'm going to hold it down with my thumb, and pour this very carefully into the collection bowl. And as I mentioned before, the first time I did that, I made a mess on my countertop. So now we'll continue. Keep your eye on the bowl. 2 more scoops in here. You can pretty well eyeball a cup. That's that. Keep your eye on the bowl. That's very, very full. finishing up because the collection bowl is full. Fill my last cloth with 2 more scoops, and then we'll pour that into bottles. Now I usually leave about 10% to fill it up to the top with filtered or distilled water. Juice is generally too concentrated anyway, so I add 10%. Pull my tray forward. 2 more cloths of pulp in the tray, again centered left to right, centered front to back, all the way back it off a little bit, and we'll continue filling the cloths with pulp. Remember, only 2 scoops because this patty is getting thick. And if you had a large quantity of pulp, you would put 1 scoop in toward the end. Flatten that. Last 2 cloths in here, and we'll continue repackaging. Back it off a little bit. Continue repackaging this pulp. Look at my folding technique again. I'm going to minimize any slippage and do that in both directions. That's it all the way. As you can see, I've repackaged all of the spent pulp into 3 more double packets. I'm going to set this aside and use a measuring beaker to measure how much more juice can we actually get using the Whole Health Foundation juicer with the premium parts. Centered left to right, front to back, all the way back, and this time when I get juice flow I'm going to back it off because we do not want that to go out too fast. It's centered left to right, centered front to back. That's very, very important. All the way back, when I get juice flow I'm going to back it off. Back it off a little bit. That's it all the way. There we have 15 more ounces of juice. We could press that a little longer. You could leave it up for 5 or 10 minutes if you wanted to, but I didn't want this juicer video to be too long. So I'm going to pour this into the collection bowl and pour it into bottles again. We're going to top these off with filtered water. Alright my friends, in this juicing session I got 10 bottles of juice and enough for a taste test. And remember, one of these bottles, about 10%, was from pressing the already processed pulp using the Whole Health Foundation model juicer. And one reason we have only 10 bottles of juice instead of more is parsley is very dense, has a lot of nutrient versus a lot of liquid. So let's do a taste test. Alright, here we have mostly parsley and dandelion with carrots, ginger, turmeric, garlic, 1 beet, 1 red bell pepper. Very delicious, and I can definitely taste the parsley and the dandelion. Dandelion gives juice a little bit of a bitter taste, but jam-packed full of nutrients and minerals. Here's to your health, my friends, and if you'd like to call me, my phone number is 760-753-0321. My email address is developtrust@cox.net, and my webpage is wholehealthfound.com. Delicious. I'll see you in the next video.